Hello, everyone, and welcome to Ajiro Tech. Ajiro Tech, and is your favorite teacher on YouTube, right? Okay, I know. And we'll be looking at the CIE IGCSE Information and Communication Technology, Paper 2, Databases, February March 2023. The course code is 0417, and it has only the variant February March series, which is just variant 21. Okay, I know database poses to be quite a challenge for many learners. I've gotten a lot of many people like Mr. Gyro, is database. Okay, and I wish database was not part of it, but you can take it out. It's actually exciting. And how do I even go about database, Mr. Gyro? Please help us, help us, help us, help us. Okay, and your prayers have been answered because I'm doing it February, March 2023. The paper was just released a few days ago at the time of this recording, so it's official. And let us want to know how. How is this done? And now the good thing about this video is I get to not just solve the paper, but I get to actually explain it to you. How exciting is that? Okay, I actually get to explain the basics, the rudiment, the chapters of the textbook only one, so you can have a base, in understanding the practical concept of the databases. Now, as we're about to begin, get your laptop, turn it on. Let's begin. Okay. Now, don't forget it's 2 hours 15 minutes, and of course, the total mark is 70, obviously. So you have been supplied with the following source files, okay? And tax one is the evidence document that we have created, and we have done the document production, we've done the presentation, and hey, and before we proceed any further, it's right here on my YouTube channel, okay? On my YouTube channel, it's loaded with people 1, 2, 3, like it's everything you need, right? So for document production and for presentation, it's right here. I think I did that yesterday at the time of this recording, and it's right here, presentation and document, and you can practice along with it, and you can have the very best with it. But now we're talking about database, right? Database is the main thing, and that's where you're watching it. Okay, so let's dive right to it. I'm so excited, right? And okay, databases. Students at the Tower High School are placed in one of the 4 groups, which are called houses. These houses are Jupiter's, Mars, Neptune, Saturn. And I know a thing about houses because schools they have houses, right? According to the square I am right now, they have topaz, they have sapphire, they have jade. I don't know, they have another one. Okay. All right, I tried 3, right? Okay, so houses, okay? So you're not going to prepare some reports based on school test. All right, now using the database software, import the file. Now, they did not say using Access or this, but I recommend using Access because Access is really cool because of their products. It's an ecosystem and it works really, really good. So when I say using the database software, I recommend to my learners to make use of the Microsoft Access. Okay, so yeah, are we good to go? Okay, so that's the first thing I'm going to do is to click here, the window icon there, then search for Access. Okay, search for Access. Then the next thing I'm going to do is to create a database. So I'm going to click on blank database, and the name of my database don't really matter, so I'm just going to put it February, March, okay, 2023, and I'm going to choose where to save it. Okay, I'm going to choose where to save it. So I'm going to choose here, click there, and I'm going to locate where the source files are in your system. So you can pause this to look for it, and you jump back right in. So I'm going to look for mine. Okay, so right here. Okay, I think there's one there. Okay, let me check. What's that one doing there? Okay, maybe something, I don't know. All right, so I'm going to create it right here. Okay, and I'm going to click on create. Okay, now I'm going to, of course, always table 1. I don't want this. I'm going to close it. Okay, Then the next thing I'm going to do is, these are menus, right? So to import this file right here, I'm going to click on external data. Okay, clicking on external data. Now if I click on external data, the next thing I'm going to do is the new data source. Now if you look at the question, it is .csv. That simply means comma separated values, and it simply means it's a generic file. What is a generic file? A generic file that can be opened with any suitable software. In this case, I want to open this using either, you can open this on a spreadsheet, you can open this on an Access, okay, or database. In this case, I want to open it with Access, okay, which is what I'm using for my database. Okay, so click on external data, new data source, from file, a text file. I'm going to browse for it. Okay, this is it right here. Okay, M23 test. I'm going to open it, and then right here, import the data, the source data into a new table. I want it checked because I want it as a new table. I'm going to click on OK. Now notice this is going to be in delimiter. It means it's a comma separated value, and for every record, or for every field, or the records inside of it, they are separated with a comma. Okay, so it's very, very important. I'm going to click on next. Now you see a comma there. Now in the first row contains a field name. Now if you don't check the first row, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to explain it to you real quick. This is what's going to happen. It's going to be showing field 1, field 2, field 3, and you don't want that. So okay, so the first thing you have to do is to check to ensure that the first row contains the field names, and they do contain the field names. You click on next. Now let's go to the question. Do not import English field. Okay, so there are fields right here, and English is part of it. We're going to check how true that is, but you are not to import it in the final table. English should not be part of it. It's not hiding, no, but English should not be part of it. So how do we do this? Now we're going to look right here. So here is English. I'm going to check this, do not import the field, and I'm going to click on next. Now I like using this particular phase to just use one stone to kill two birds. Yeah, one stone to kill two birds, literally. So I don't know, but I just want stone. Okay. All right, now use these field names and data types. Now this brings us to chapter 7, the system life cycle. Right, and in the system life cycle, we have what we call, in the design phase, we have what we call data structures. Just talks about the data types. Okay, now for every data, there is a type of which that kind of data goes into the field. Okay, so in your textbook, your IGCSE ICT textbook, third edition, you're going to see character text, which is strings of characters. You're going to see Boolean. You're going to see numeric, and the numeric is split into 4. Okay, which is a decimal. You have your date and time, you know the rest, right? Okay, all right. Okay, so now for access, it's still the same thing, but just maybe a different name. So here in the text, we see short text and long text, and right here data type as number. For access, we see it as integers. Okay, all right. So let's go ahead and let's verify. So I'm going to click on advanced. Okay, and then I'm going to check. Now from visual code to house code, I have text, so I'm good with that. Short text is the same thing. Now the next thing is math to science. Math to science, just go down a bit. Okay, they are integers, which is numbers. Now 0 decimal places is still the same like a whole number. Okay, it's still the same thing as a whole number, so integers is fine. Now notice that there are 2 ways you can actually skip a field. You can actually do it in the other method, or right here you could actually check that field and it's not going to be imported. Now that's great. The next thing is the date order. The date order should be in date, month, and year. Okay, the date delimiter should be separated, right? And of course the time, colon, and all this is very, very important. Remember, it's in delimiter, and with this you're going to click on OK. Now the next thing is, let's go down. Set verification code as the primary key. Primary keys are used to uniquely identify a record. That is what it does. Okay, now this is what we're going to do. We're going to choose my own primary key, and automatically it sees this. But most time it's not always the case. So you have to ensure that the field is the primary code, is the primary key that is stated in the question. Okay, so with this in mind, okay, I'm going to click on next and finish, close, and then I'm going to open it, and then you see that there is no English right here. Okay, so I'll click here to select all, and I can just double click in any of this, in between this, double click so that every field is showing. Okay, now the next question is, place in your evidence document a screenshot showing the field names, data types, and primary key used in the table. You want to see the field names, data types, and primary key. So to do this, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to click on home. Matter of fact, can I pin it? I'll do that later, right? Let me be sure that click on view and then change it to design view. Okay, the design view. Now this is it. This is what they want to see. Okay, they want to see this. So I'm going to take a screenshot of this, right? They want to see the field name, the data types, and the primary key. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a screenshot right now using what I call, click here, same thing, and then search for your snipping tool. Click on new snip. Then we can do this. Okay, and we can now switch to datasheet view. Now I'm going to get my evidence document. I can close this, close. Okay, I have to save. It's important. I'll click on save. Always save whenever you make any changes, even if it's making the field to be more ensuring that the fields are legible. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to open my evidence document. I have it right here. Okay, and this is going to be evidence 5. Okay, so right click and paste. So I have this here. Okay, now picture format I think is okay. Okay, probably just make it 11. Okay, fine. I think that's fine. So right here we have the field names, the data types, and the primary keys are also stated. This is what they want to see. Very, very important. Okay. Import the file M20 houses as a new table in your database. Okay, so click on external data, new data source, from file, text file, browse, houses, say, click on open, click on it and click open. Now it has to be as a new table, not appending to the other one, but a new table. Okay, now import the file as a new, you can see right there as a new table, and that is why this is very important, into a new table. Okay, now the next thing is set the house code field as a primary key. Okay, so click on OK. Okay, delimiter it is, next, ensure that the first row contains the field name. If not, it's going to show field 1, field 2, field 3, and you don't want that. Okay, now we're not skipping anything. Okay, so next. Now they didn't tell us what to use. If it's going to be, so we can just skip that, literally. Now the next thing is to choose. So obviously it detects the house code, and is that what they want? Yes, set the house code field as the primary key. This is what you need to do. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is next and finish. Okay, and if you've done onto this part, bravo, I'm proud of you, right? I can click on this and click here. Now in between the house code and the house name, double click to ensure everything is showing, and then I'm going to save, and then I can close. The next thing I'm going to do is examine the file M23 staff. So let me examine it to identify the most appropriate field to use as a primary key. Okay, so you have to examine it. Normally you open it in Excel to examine, but I want to do it right here, right? So new data source, from file, text file, browse. Of course, it has to be in a new table because it says in a new table. It has to be, most of them don't say, but it has to be on a new table. Staff, okay. Open, it has to be in a new table. Okay, delimiter, next. Ensure the first row contains the field names. Very important. Next. Okay, we're not skipping any field. Next. Now, they said examine the file M23 staff to identify the most appropriate field to use as a primary key. Import this file as a new table in your database using this field as a primary key. Now, this is what you need to do. Now, for every primary key, there is a foreign key that is a primary key in another table. Okay? Possibly. I know it's too much, but let me take it again. For every primary key that uniquely identifies a table, a record, it is also a foreign key in another table that helps to create the relationship. Now, in this case, we have class code, teacher name, subject, and row. Now, notice primary keys are unique. Usually, we use codes or numbers to uniquely identify them because we cannot have the same set of codes or numbers as the same. So I'm going to choose the class code for it. Now, most of the time, they usually, whenever they want to create a relationship, they usually say down there, use this to do this and create a relationship. Now, this is what you do. You move down a bit. Notice that the primary field of the staff table and the class code of the test table. See that? So it means that the class code is there in the test table and is seen as the foreign key there. Meanwhile, in the staff table, it is seen as what? The primary key. And this is what is the relationship. Does that make sense? Because this has to be together. There has to be something that connects to that table to create a relationship. Now, what's the essence of creating a relationship? The whole essence of creating a relationship is to ensure the integrity of the database. That is why it's the relational database. Unlike the flat file that we have, like our Excel, it simply means that whatever is linked to the other one is easier to be able to get your report. Okay. So for staff, the class code, because in the test is found on it, and we can check as well. So you can also open it in Excel to check. So click on next and click on finish. Then we can open the test and then you can see the class code, right? For staff, I'm going to open it, click here to ensure everything is showing. I'm going to save this and I'm going to close. Okay. Place in your evidence document. Screenshot evidence showing the field name, data types, and the primary key used in each table. Okay, so they want to see that in each table. So that is 3. So they want to see that in each table. So for the housing and staff, they want to see that in each table. Okay, now let's do that. So this is what we're going to do for the housing. Right click. You can also right click to design view. Right here, when you right click, you can go to your home and switch it to what? To design view. Whichever one you want to do is fine. Okay, so the snipping tool right here, we're going to need your service. Okay, all right. So I'm going to take the snip of this. Right, and evidence document for evidence 6. Okay, right click, Okay, paste this. It's fine. Also hit on enter, and I'm going to paste the next one here as well. That's for staff. You can close this. It's fine. For staff, right click. Right here as well, you can also go to design view without opening it. Okay, so you can close this. There's so many ways to go to design view. So many ways, guys. So many ways. Okay, snipping tool. Okay, new snip. Okay, you can take this. All right, and right here we can just right click and then we paste it. Okay, so I think we can make this 11, and this as well 11. Okay, having fun? I know you're having fun with this. Now the next thing is edit the following record in the test table. So I'm going to close this test table coming up. Registration code. So edit the following records in the test table. Okay, so let's see this. Class code. Okay, so this is it. 6B to 6T. Okay, so this is the 2016. So this is what we're going to do. Okay, 2016 is right here. Okay, so right here. Okay, class code change from 6B, 6B is right here, to what? 6T. Now cap, my cap lock, then T. Up, done. That's simple, right? Now check your data entry for errors and save this. So obviously there is no error, so I'm going to save it. Save. Create one-to-many relationship between. So now it's time for relationships. So I'm going to close this. Now to create your relationship, this is the next thing you've done. Now take some time to pause this and try to practice with it, okay, to see how well you've done. And if you've done very well to this extent, I applaud you. And if you've not done well, okay, you don't have to cry yourself out, okay? It's a gradual process. Take your time. I promise you, you will get there, okay? So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a relationship. So we're going to click on the database tool, right? And then we'll click on relationships. Now yours can be here or right here is the same thing. Now I'm going to select all three relationships. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold my control, select this and select this. Okay, now I can leave my control on your keyboard. Now I'm going to click on add selected tables. Done. Now I want this all the fields to show, so I'm going to drag this. Okay, now let's look at the question. The primary key field of the staff table and the class code of the test table. Primary field of what? Primary key field of the staff table, okay, and the class code. So right here to here, just to drag. And now don't forget, you can also change it from here. Probably you made an error somewhere. You can see that this is for the staff, this is for the test. You can also change it from here. So you don't have to, oh, I'm trying, it doesn't work. You can also do it from here. Okay, so that makes it super easy, right? Now, so now we're going to create this. So I'm going to click on create. Simple, right? The primary key field of the houses table and what? So this is probably, I'm just going to drag this here, bring this here, bring this here, bring this here. and what the house code field of the test table. So the house code to the house code. Then I release. So house code and house code. And I click on create. Pretty much easy, isn't it? Okay. Now we have this. Place in your evidence document showing the screenshot one-to-many relationships between the tables. In your evidence document, screenshots, more than one, showing the one-to-many relationship between the tables. So let's do this. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. So in between this, we're going to right click and click on edit relationship, and we're going to take the screenshot, right? So snipping tool, okay, and everything, because they want to see the type, they want to see the one-to-many relationship. That is the mark for it. Okay, that's what I stated here. They want to see the one-to-many relationship between them, and I'm going to paste this here. Right click, paste. And matter of fact, I'm going to put it side by side. Okay, so wrap is going to be probably, all right, I can make it true, right? And I can bring hit, okay, true, probably bring this down. It's fine, bring this down. Okay. The next one is, okay, cancel. Next one right here, I'm going to right click and click on edit relationship. And I'm going to take a screenshot of this. Okay. Now, I'm going to paste it right here. Right click, paste. It's fine. Click on it, click on picture format, wrap text, and I'm going to make it true. I'm going to reduce this a bit. Take it up. It's up there. Then take this up as well. Now with true, you can decide to move them. Okay. Now I'm going to reduce this to probably, okay, I don't know, 8. Okay. Okay, because it's actually one mark. So they want to see the class code between them, the house codes between the houses and the test, class code between the staff and the test. They want to see the relationship type, and then you get your mark. Okay. Now I can bring this up. I'm hitting the backspace to do this on my keyboard. So backspace to take it up. Okay, it's fine. Right? Now we're heading to very important thing. This is the hallmark of the database. What we're doing was the introduction. If you've made it far to this, well, congratulations. Now we go into business, where we have what we call creating a report. Now, for you to create a report, the first thing you do is to create a query. And a query is simply extracting those data from your database. Now, extractions or your query is necessary when relationships have been created. If your relationship hasn't been created, then you're not going to have an effective query, and thereby leading you to a wrong report. Now, using fields from other tables, produce a tabular report. Now, this is always confusing to learners, and I try as much as possible to explain it to my students right here in Nigeria, or right there in the Asia continent, or in the Europa continent, in the Europe continent as well. and even the American content, I try to explain to them that when the examiner is telling you using fields from all tables, produce a tabular report, the first thing that comes to mind is creating a query. Okay, it's still the same process, but now what we're using is query, then the report is from the query. Okay, I know it all sounds a bit confusing, especially if you're new to this, but let's see how we can do the practice. Now, how do we differentiate it? I'm going to use colors to do this. Okay, now for these colors, my highlighter here, I'm going to use yellow for report and pink, okay, for queries, right? So now for the queries, let's start with the queries, right? To get your query, the first thing you have to get is both the query and the report always needs this, okay, which is literally the same thing. Now, I'm going to select this. So this is going to be our query because this is from here we get this, and I'm going to stop it here, right? Right here. So this is the query. So we're going to start with this, and I'm just going to type this, and I'm going to say, let me use, okay, query. Okay, so this is query, right? All right, so we're going to do this. Move this to this. Okay, right? Now let's do this. Now we've created a relationship. I can close this and I can save this. Okay, I'm going to save it, save, and then I'm going to close it. Okay, now this is how you know that the relationship has been created. When we open the table, you're going to see a plus, and then you can see all records for the students in the houses, and then for staff, we'll click on it, and then we can see the students, or probably the test of the students for this teacher, okay, for English. Okay, so this is it right here. Now I'm going to close all this and close all this. Okay, so we can do this. Now what we're going to do now is we're going to click on create. Okay, now let's look at what we are creating. They said using fields from all the tables. So we're creating a query from all the tables, literally, right? So this is what we're going to do. So create, and then we go to the query wizard. Okay, the query wizard is right here. Now, don't forget, is before you create a report, you have to first of all create a query. Because usually learners, they make this mistake all the time. They create a report without creating a query. It's not going to work. Now, it's going to be a simple query wizard. So, okay, from all tables. Now, show only the fields. Family name. Family name should be in houses. Okay, maybe test. Okay, family name. Now this means to move it, we have available fields and selected fields. Now this means to move the fields one by one, and this means to move everything. So first, family name, gender, teacher's name. So that should be in staff. Science, test, okay. Math, computer science, design technology, house name, class code. You see? Now, class code, whether you're taking it from the staff or whether you're taking it from the test, is the same thing. Okay, it's the same thing. You're taking it from staff, you're taking it from test, it's all the same thing. They all have the same thing on it. So you don't have to, oh, it's the same thing. Okay, so I'm taking mine from test. Okay, class code. And then I click on next. Now it needs to be detailed, right, to show every field of the record. So next. Now what's the title? I like making my report and my query the same title. Include the title. So this is going to be the title for my query, the same thing for my report. Okay, I'm going to copy this. Obviously in your exam you're going to type it, right? And I can delete and Ctrl V to paste. And then I click finish. So we have this. Okay, now I'm going to click here and double click to ensure everything. Okay, everything's looking good. It's fine. Now that's the first thing. The next thing for the query after that is, okay, we're still on a query, is this right here. This is for our query. Okay, select records where. There are three things you do in your query. You're running your criterias, you're putting down the fields, running your criterias, and you're performing calculations. Now, let's run this. Okay, so how do we do this? I'm going to save this, save, and I'm going to go toward the design view. Okay, I'm going to move toward the design view. Okay, so I'm going to click on home and then switch toward design view. And now we have all this, right? Because now the relationship has been created. You can see it like this, right? And this simply means that now we can run the criteria. If you don't see this, it probably means you have not created the relationship and you need to go back to do it. Okay. Now the gender is F, which means female. So for gender, now you can type in just F, or you can just type in equals to F. It's the same thing. Okay, and now we call these criteria. We have the equals to criteria, we have the all criteria, we have the and criteria, we have the wildcard, means begin with, end with, and is between, and we have the not included as well. Okay, and we're going to look all this. We have all this done in past papers right here on Ajiro Tech. You can check my videos, my playlist on databases, and you will see a lot of things I've been performing on that. Okay. Okay, so I have this. Now for every of the query, you do one and then you run any of the criteria. You perform a criteria and then you're going to run it. Now I'm going to click on home and I'm going to ping this by showing always show ribbon to ping this, right? If you want how to do it, that's how to do it. If you want to take it off, you go to show tabs only. Okay, if you want to bring it in again, this is what you need to do. Now I'm going to click on query design and I'm going to click on run. And now notice now you now have 84 records. The genders are only females. Okay, the next thing is size is 80 or more. Now we have what we call less than or greater than. We have less than or equals to, we have greater than or equals to. Okay, we have less than, we have greater than. When size is more than 80, it means greater than. When size is 80 or more, it means greater than or equals to what? 80. Now let's do this. Now I'm going to switch the views to design view again. Now under science, I'm going to use this greater than equals to, okay, 80. Because what the question is saying, greater than is 80 or more, that's greater than or equals to 80. Once you've done this, you click on 1. And now you now have 49 records. Okay, right here. The next one is the class code contains 6. Now I want to explain the wildcards. Now, follow me on this real quick. For the wildcards, okay, so we have them as begin, with, and we use, let's say, Ajiro, okay, asterisk. It begins with it. We have end with, Ajiro, asterisk Ajiro, and then we have it includes or contains, which is what? Asterisk Ajiro, asterisk. Then not contain or include or not include. Okay, let me see how I can reduce this. Okay, make this red. Okay, not include, so we have this as this symbol or not Ajiro. So whichever one you want to use, you can use the symbol. This means not, or you can just type the not. We call this wildcards. Very, very important. Okay, you need to put it to your heart. Which one begins with, which one ends with, and which one includes or contains. Okay. All right. So the class code contains 6. So I'm going to go to my class code, view, design view. So under the criteria row, class code. So I'm going to use asterisk 6 asterisk. Okay, and then I'm going to click on 1. Now in this case, I now have what? How many records? 27 records. Now if you check the class code, they all contain 6. Right? They all contain 6. And with this, we are done with our query. So I can save this, save, and we have done a good job. So you can clap for yourself. Bravo, you've done a good job. You should be proud, right? All right. The next thing we're going to do now is to create the report for this. Okay, to create the report for this. Now everything else here is the report. And I'm going to use this. So everything right here is in the report. Okay, now you can see how I've differentiated this between the query and for the report. And I'm going to use this for report. So right here, all this is what? For the report. Now you've seen the way I've structured it. Okay, it's very, very important that you know this. Okay. Now let's go ahead. Save again. I think I have close. Now click on create, and then we're going to click on the report wizard. Okay, so now they said from both tables, but now we've done the query from both tables. We're not doing that again. Now this is usually the error for students. They just go to the report wizard and then they start filtering. No. Okay, we've created the query already for this. Now it's time for the report. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring this query. You can see right there is query there, and these are the tables. And then we're going to move everything. But then again, let's check. Are they in the same order? Are they in family name, gender, teacher's name, science? Obviously they are, because we did that during the query as well. Okay, but I'm going to move all of them at once, moving this. Okay, and since we didn't have an additional feed, that's fine. So we're going to click on next. Now notice that they said in this order with the labels displayed, do not group the data. We have to group data and ungroup data. This right here is an ungrouped data. This is a group data. They say do not group the data. So it simply means that it has to be what? Ungrouped. Okay, I'm going to click on next. Okay, next. Now, what am I sorting it by? Okay, now it says sort the data into the ascending order of teachers' name. Ascending order of what? Teacher name. And what? Descending order of what? Science. So descending order of science. Descending order of science. Okay. So ascending order of teacher's name. Ascending, descending order of what? Of science. Click on next. Now, is it going to be portrait? It's going to be landscape. Has a page orientation of landscape. Can you see that? Now, landscape. And of course, reports are tabular. If you go to the end, if you go to the beginning of the question, you see that create to produce what? A tabular report. Can you see this? Right? I promise to be detailed in this video, and I'm keeping to that promise. Okay, so I'm going to click on next. Now, what is the title for your report? We're going to use this that we use for our query. Copy it. Remove this. Ctrl V, and we can preview the report. Click on finish, and now we have this report. Now I'm going to close the print preview, and I'm going to switch to, now we have different views here. Normally in the first one we have the datasheet view, and then we have design view. Now we're having the report view, print preview, layout view, and design view. Now design view is when you carry out a lot of designs, and you can still do that in the same way with your layout. Okay, and I'll tell you when these two of them come in handy as we proceed in this video. I can close this, close it, and then switch here, go to layout view. Now I'm going to click on this. Let's say this, the title. Include the title displayed in a larger font size, fully visible at the top of the report, right? Fully visible. So I'm going to click this, and then again I'm going to click on my format, right? I'm going to make it large, so I'm going to make it like 36. Okay, 36 is not bad, it's fine. Bold it and make it black. Okay, now the next thing is, let's go back here. We've done the sorting. Calculate the numbers of students and place this at the end of the report. Now before we do this, let's arrange our work real quick, because now we have teacher's name and science of sport, everything, so we have to arrange it. This is what the sorting does to spoil your work, and you have to ensure that it is in this order, else you're going to lose the mark. So we'll start with the first one, the family name. Okay, so what we're going to do is this. Select this, and then hold your control, click on this, and then you can drag this down. Okay, you can also do this in design view. Okay, you can also carry out this in design view. I can show you how to do it in design view, right? Go to the home, switch it to design view, and you can still carry out all this in design view. All you have to do is, you still have to do modifications of this, adjust this a bit. Now what I did is click here, hold your control, click here. So you have to move the field, the header, and of course the records together, and then use the arrow key right to move it a bit. Okay, family name has to come first, so I'm going to adjust it, reduce it a bit, use my arrow key to move it. This is, I know this is a lot, but just stay with me on this. Okay, now I'm going to move this teacher name forward, right, just a bit to this. Select this, hold your control on the keyboard and select this, and then you can release your hand from the keyboard, and then you can drag this here, move it like this, Okay, then select the family name and click on, hold your control on the keyboard, select the second one. You can leave your hand on the keyboard and then use your Alt key left, right, to move this like this. Good. Okay, don't worry about adjusting to ensure everything is going to show. Records are going to show. We're going to do that. The next thing is gender. So click this, hold your control, select this, use the arrow right to do this. Now the next thing is gender. Control, select this, move this. And then teacher name. Click this, hold your control, add the header, click the record. Now the second one means all the records are inside of it. Okay? Click this, hold your control, click this. Science is the next one. Hold your control. I think this science and technology. Science is right here. Right? And move this here. This for science. That's for computer science. Okay? The next one is math. Hold your control like this. You have to be really careful in this process. They have to be together. You have to be careful. Math, computer science. Click this, hold your control. Click this, release, and then move this. Our left. I'm basically using the arrow key to do this. The next one is design technology. Click this, hold your control, click this. Our left. Then we have house name and house code. So in this case, we can move this here a bit. Ensure everything is, in the right place. Now I'm going to make them the same alignment, okay? And I want them to be aligned together. This is for computer science. Okay. So gender is just F. Okay. You know what? I'm going to switch this to the layout view and I'm going to continue. Just to show that it's the same thing, you can do it. Okay, some learners prefer the layout view. Okay, and this video is to explore every bit of it. Save, and I'm going to switch to the layout view and we're going to continue what we've done. You see this, right? So here, hold my control, select all. The same thing we did. Use the arrow key to move it. Select, hold your control, select the records. The same thing. I'm using my arrow key left in the keyboard, on my keyboard, and then I'm just going to drag it to ensure nothing is cutting off. Hold my control, select the records, go to format, left alignment. Okay, now I'm going to use my arrow key right to move this. Okay, just show format, hold my control, select, left alignment. Going to drag it a bit. Okay, it's fine. For computer science. Okay, now I hold my control to do that. By now you should know what to do. Okay, now they are not aligned together and probably that's a problem. So what I'm going to do is this. They should be, so I'm going to drag this a bit. Okay, hold my control, it's too much. Hold my control, select this, it's too much. I'm going to do that in design view to ensure that they are together. Okay, I think they're aligned right now. Okay, I'm just going to shift Windows plus. Oh, sorry. Okay, Windows plus to get my magnifier to magnify it a bit. Okay, I think it's fine. Okay, so switch it to my layout view. Okay, okay, so it's fine, right? Now click on format and then left align. Okay, please ensure nothing is cutting off. So right here it's left align. I'm going to hold my control, select this, reduce it a bit. Okay, hold my control, select this. Now this has to be reduced because if other one is overlapping on it, then it might affect, it's going to affect whatever is in there. Use my arrow right, move on it a bit. Okay, arrow right, I'm using my arrow right to do this. Now I'm going to check if anything cutting off. Select, hold my control, select the records, the header and the records. Okay, all right. Okay, maybe there's a little space here. Like, you've done a good job, but I'm a teacher, I like perfection. Okay, I think this is better. Okay, I'm okay with this. Now the next thing we're going to do is we go back to the question. Fit on a single page wide. The fit on a single page wide. Display your name, center number, and candidate number in the footer so it appears in the same position on every page. Now we have what we call a report footer and a page footer. A report footer means that the informations are going to be displayed at the end of the report. If there are 5 pages to your report, now FYI, for your information, that's what it means. It means for reports, if there are 2 reports, if they are landscape, you have them in 2 pages or 1 pages. They don't exceed more than that. 2 pages or 1 pages. So please take note in case you're having more than that, you have to go back and then check what you've done wrong. Okay, so on every page, so that's a page footer. So if you have 3 pages, it's going to appear. Report footer, it stays at the end. All right. So I'm going to switch this to design view. Putting your page, your candidate details, that it needs to be done in design view. It's more effective in design view, right? So I'm going to switch it to design view. Now we have the page footer, we have the report footer. So I'm going to put this right here. Now they didn't specify which alignment. You just need to appear, right? So I'm going to use the center alignment. I'm just going to leave all this. Since they didn't say is the only thing that should be on the footer. So I can leave this, right? The next thing I'm going to do is in my report design, I'm going to take what we call a label, right? To label is a text box I can type on. Okay, so I'm going to get label and I'm going to draw it and I can type my details. Ajiro ND, AN 017, space 02023. Okay, click on it, format, center alignment, bold, make it black, bold. I can increase the font to 14. adjust top of it. Okay, I have this. Okay, it's fine. The next thing is, okay, calculate. I missed this because I'm seeing a printout here. That's why it's important to always tick the ones you've answered. This can be confusing. It simply means that you can actually miss out a question or two. Now the next thing, we've sorted this. Is this in the same order? We've done this in the same order. You can check to see this is done. Okay, layout view. You can see that we have the family name, the gender, teacher's name, science, math, computer science, design technology, house name, class code. Now the next thing is the label. We have sorted this as well. Ascending order of teacher's name, you can see, and descending order of science right here. Now, this is what we're going to do now. Calculate the number of students and place this at the end of the report. The next question is, has the label fully visible to the left of this value. So we're going to calculate the numbers of students. We want to know the numbers of students. Now to do that, that's the record. So numbers of students simply means we're going to pick, these are all the subjects they attempt. So I can pick anyone, right? See the numbers of students, I can pick anyone to use. And I'm going to pick science, right? I'm going to pick science and I'm going to click on the science. Okay, you can pick on the family name, you can pick on the gender, because all students are actually doing that, right? They all have scores for this. Now I'm going to click on the report layer design. Now under the total, these are functions. Now I'm going to what? Count the records. Okay, so at the end of the day I have 27 students. Okay, now this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to switch to my design view. Okay, and then I'm going to add the label new science group size. Okay, so I pick science. Okay, that's fine. Then report design, the label, and I'm going to paste this. Just it at the end. Use my arrow key left to do this. Home, format. Okay, I can bold it, it's fine. So we have this here at the left. That's what the question is saying. Question say what? Has the label fully visible to the left of this value. Okay, so we have it to the left of this value. Now I'm going to save this and I'm going to switch this to what? To the layout view. Okay, to the layout view. Now I'm taking my time to explain this detail by detail so you can have an understanding of this, because this has to be what? Left of this value. Now, place in your evidence document a screenshot showing the database formula used to calculate what? The numbers of students. Okay? Now, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to switch this to design view. Then I'm going to adjust this. So I want to be very clear. And I'm going to take the formula of this. This is the formula. Because the question says what? Screenshot showing database formula used to calculate the numbers of students. So I'm going to do this. My snipping tool is right here. New. Okay. Now evidence document. Right click and I will paste it. I can increase it. Click on picture format. Okay. So there we have it. And now I can save it, and then go to layout. Okay, now I'm going to, the next thing is save and print your report. So this is going to be STEM science. I'm going to copy this. Now to print my report, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to the print preview of it. Print preview, this is how it's going to look like. And I can click on it to just have an overview of how everything's going. You see that this is one page, right? This is one page. And then I'm going to click on print right here. Okay, I'm going to click on print. Please print it to PDF first before sending it to your printer. Okay, obviously for exam sake. Click on OK. Then this is my printout, so it's fine. I'm going to say printout, and I'm going to paste the other one. Okay, save. So this is okay, 2 pages. So this is 2 pages. It's fine. Now they said every page to display the serial number, kind of number, so it will appear in the same way on every page. So invariably it means 2 pages. So we have the 2 pages right here. Okay, so 2 pages. And now I'm done with this, and I can save and close preview. And I can also save this and close. Now we're done with the first part of the report. Okay, and if you've done that, bravo, I'm proud of you. Let's move to the next one. Using fields from all tables, produce a tabular report. Now you know what to do. I don't need to highlight anything again. I don't need to do this because now you know what you have to do. Okay, now the first thing we're going to do is to do what? Pause and tell me. Queries, right? We're going to have to create our queries from all the tables. Now, what we're going to do now is to click on create. The query wizard, a simple query. Now from all tables, let's look at it. That's the first thing we'll look at. Gender. So that's test. Please don't make the mistake of selecting the query. It's from all tables, not from query. Don't make the mistake. It's from all tables and not from the query. You have no business with the query because that query is for a report that you've created. Okay. Now the next one is what? Family name. You can see it's table, then given name. Are we creating a formula for given name? Okay, let's see. Oh, there's a given name. Okay, it's fine. House name. So that's for houses. And the next one is math. That's for test. And computer science. Teacher name. That's for staff. In this order. Okay. So we can click on, we can want to check gender, family name, given name, house name, math, computer science, and teacher's name. Next. Next. What's the title? Include the title Year 5 report for Mars. Copy. And I'm going to backspace. I'm using the backspace, Ctrl V to paste. And I'm going to click on finish. Okay, just click here to be sure that everything is showing. So I have 176 records. Okay, now the next thing after that, the first query you do, the second query is to run your criteria. Okay, the class code is what? 5C. Class code. So I'm going to click on, you can right click and click on design view. Okay, or you can go here to your home and switch to design view. Okay, the class code. Now notice they said the class code is what? 5C, but we do not have a class code here, and now we are now in a bit of a confusion. Oh, Mr. Ajiro, what do I do? Okay, Relax, I got this, and I will teach you. Now, this is what you're going to do. Okay, we're going to bring in a field to this, but we're not going to check it. We'll bring out a field to run it to get our values, but we're not going to add it to it. So for the class code, now you could use, like I said, you could use any of them from star for test, whichever one is the same thing. I'm going to bring up this right here, drag it over here. Okay, now I'm going to type what? 5C. You could type 5C or equals to 5C is the same thing. Okay, now I'm going to run it. For every criteria you run it, one criteria you run. So now we have 22 records. But when we are doing this, they said show only. You have to show only the fields. So class code is not part of it, so we need to uncheck it. Now to do this, we're going to go back to the design view, and then in the class code we uncheck it, right? And then we're going to click on run. Now we have our 22 records and it's not there. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do now is the house name is mouse, right? Mouse. So I'm just going to copy it, and then the view, design view, house name is mouse. So I'm just going to Ctrl V to paste it. You could use equals to, you could use mouse, just type it the way it is, it's still going to work. Okay, so I'm going to run it, and at the end of the day I just have 9 records. Okay, now okay, so I have this okay, so we're done with the query. That's the query part. There are 3 things there: the name, the criteria, and then creating a new field and carrying out the formulas. That is not there, so we're done. So I'm going to save this, save, and I'm going to close this. Okay, now the next thing is to create a report. Now I'm going to click on my report wizard, and then I'm just going to go to the query. Now I'm going to move everything right from that query, which I've explained earlier. Now I'm going to click on next. They said what? Do not group the data. So when it's like this, is not group. Remember, this is group. When they are splitted, is group. This is on group. Okay, we are not grouping the data, so this is what they need. Next, what are we sorting? We're sorting by what? Sort the data into ascending order of gender. Okay, gender, ascending order of gender, and what this ascending order of gender, ascending order of family name. Next, so orientation is what? Has a portrait or a page orientation of portrait. Now there are 2 orientations, portrait and landscape. So it's portrait, it's tabular report. I've explained this, it's tabular report. Next, the title is what? Year 5 report for mouse. Copy this, and I'm going to paste this, finish. Okay, now we need to adjust this. I'm going to close this. I will do this quickly on the layout view. So the first one is what? The first one is gender. And where is gender? See, first one is gender, family name, given name, house name, math, computer science. So I'm just going to adjust this real quick. Click here, hold your control, select the records, the headers and the records. Okay, hold your control, move this a bit. Okay, click here, hold your control, select this, hold your control, move it with your Alt key left on your keyboard. You can adjust this a bit, hold your control, select this. Okay, the next one is math. I want them to be in the same alignment, so I'm just going to adjust this. Click on format, make it left. Now use my arrow key left rather to move it. The next one is adjust it, computer science, format left. Okay, then teacher's name. Okay, teacher's name can be here, it's fine. And since we have a lot of spaces, we can space this out. Okay. Okay, I think this is fine. Okay, now fit on a single page. Standard. We've done that. Fit on a single page. Now this means that all the headings has to be on a page. It must not be split to the next page. It has to be on the page. Okay. Now calculate the average maths marks in this selection and position this below the maths column. So for the maths, I'm going to click here, go to the report layout design. Now under the functions, I'm going to select a function called average, and then we're going to have an average. Okay. Now the next thing is display this average mark with 0 decimal places. Now I'm going to click the average, come here to property sheet, and then format. Now under the decimal places, I'm going to switch it to what? 0. Okay, because I want this to be what? 0. Come in. Okay, so sorry, format. I'm going to select for format, and now it's not working because I have to make it standard. That's why it's not working. I have to make it standard, else it's not going to see anything, right? So I'm going to make it standard, which is fine. Or you can make it either you make it standard or okay. I think standard is fine. So decimal places, 2 decimal places is back, and then 0 decimal places, so it's fine, right? So yeah, the format has to be standard. Okay, so the next one is include the label average mark score. So I'm going to copy it, fully visible to the left of this label. Okay, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to save, switch it to what? Design view, and I'm going to let me see. Include the label fully visible to the left of this value. Now, since this is we have calculated this below the math column, right? Now what we're going to put this in the report footer. It's going to be in the report footer, the left of it. Now the report design, and I'm going to get this label. I'm going to paste this here. It's fine. I'm going to adjust it. Left of it. Okay, format. I can make this right. Okay, I can make it bold. Fine. Same thing here. Bold. I'm going to save. Next question is what? I'm going to skip this. We'll come back to it since I'm already in design view. Has your name, serial number, candidate number displayed at the bottom of the report. Okay. Now at this point, it's going to be at the bottom, the report footer. Okay. The page footer, well, probably they may not notice the difference, but it has to be at the bottom. So I'm going to actually do this in the report footer, right? So I'm going to click on the report design. Okay, let me do this. Do it again. Okay. A child in the comma en 017 comma space. You have to do comma space 2023. Going to adjust it a bit. Format, build this. It's fine. You can adjust this. Increase this a bit. Okay. Let's increase this a bit. Fine. All right. Now I'm going to save this. Save. Then go to my layout view. Now this is the bottom. This is what I want to see. They said at the bottom of the report. So it has to be on the report footer, right? At the bottom footer, not the page footer, the bottom footer. This is what I mean. If you go to design view, you're going to see it here. The report footer, it has to be at the report footer. The page footer is going to be together in the same line at it, but I want it at the bottom. So it has to be in the report footer, okay? You need to know the difference. All right. Layout view. And we have this here. Okay. Now the next thing is include the title Year 5 test report displayed in a larger font size, fully visible at the top of the report. Okay, so I'm going to hit on your home, click on home. You can do it here or click on format and you can do it here as well. So I'm going to make it 36. Okay, bold, it's fine. Okay, now place in your evidence document a screenshot showing the database formula used to calculate the average mark format. So I'm going to save this. Okay, this will be too big, right? Okay, how about I make it 33? Better. Okay, and I'm going to switch this to design, and I want to take a screenshot of this. New. Okay, and I'm going to paste this in, right? Paste. I'm going to increase it, picture format. Okay, that's better. Then the next thing we're going to do is save and print your report. Saved it. Go to print preview to see how this looks. Okay, I think it's fine by me. Nothing is cutting off, everything is where it should be, and then I'm good to go. So I'm going to click on print to PDF. I'm going to look for the name. So this is going to be Year 5 format. Copy. And I'm going to be, this is going to be print out. Paste this. Save to PDF. Now the next thing is export the report created as step 25 in PDF. Now the good thing is we always do it in PDF, right? Save the exported file in your work area with the file name Year 5. Okay, so I'm going to copy Year 5. Copy. Now this is what they want you to do. This right here. We're going to click on print and to PDF, and we're going to call this Year 5 to PDF. Place in your evidence document a screenshot to show the exported file saved in your work area. Make sure there's evidence of the name and file type. So let's get this done. I'm going to click on the view and then details, right? To ensure everything is showing. Yes, everything is. So I have the file already. Now, if yours is not at the top, you can right click, then sort by what date modified. Okay, and that is going to make it at the top. If it's not at the top, maybe it's in ascending order, change it to descending order right here. Okay, so date modified. Now I'm going to take the screenshot. Okay, now to do this, my snipping tool is right here. If you're wondering what happened, I've closed it, type snipping tool, and then you can get this. New, you can take it together with the URL with where the file is located and the file type as well to PDF. And I'm going to paste this in the last screenshot. Okay, so since this is horizontal and landscape, we don't need to adjust it. Now I'm going to save and I'm going to close. And there you have it. We are done. Okay, what started to be like, oh my god, what do I even do? We finally have an answer. It is done. The next thing is to print our evidence document, which is a task 4. Now make sure your name, center number, candidate number appears on every page of this evidence document. Does it appear? Yes, it does. And we have it here. It appears. I'm just going to double click on it. Okay, I can select it, click on home. So it's fine. I have it here. It's fine. It's good, right? So it's right there. I can click. It's clear. I wanted to increase it, but you don't need to increase it. It's literally there. It's clear, so it's fine. So we have it here. The next thing we're going to do is I'm going to save this. I'm going to save this. And then I'm going to print. Click on File and then click on Print. Give me a minute. Why is it showing step 3? Okay, it's fine. Okay, I'm good to go. Print. Now I'm going to, this is going to be a printout to PDF. It's 4 pages. And this is going to be printout. And it's going to be what? The evidence document. And just like that, guys, we are officially done. I said it, and I can close this, and yeah, we are done, right? Now the next thing we're going to do is to check out the printouts that we have done. For the database, we're going to check it out for mouse. This is going to look like when it's printed. And then the next one is I think the STEAM class. Yes, this is going to look like 2 pages when it's printed. And then again, this is the evidence document, how it's going to look like when it is printed. It's required to use a light theme, not a dark theme, when you're taking your screenshot of this, and because of your printer, and obviously you want it to be very, very clear. Okay, so with this, we're good. And please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's loaded with a lot of materials for you on paper 1, paper 2, paper 3. Trust me, this channel is like, if I was a student and I had this channel, I think I will do just well on my own. Okay, but then again, it's a giveaway. It's just for you to ensure that you are fully prepared. The class is no limit, and even when you don't understand anything in the class, you can just go to Ajiro Tech and you can just play the class all over again, and to your own pace, to your own timing, and just to ensure that practice makes perfect. Thank you very much. See you in the next video. Bye bye.